Welcome back to Podium Pop. My name is Celine and I'm here with my co-host Gracie. Today we have a very fun episode. We are talking about a lot of different motorsport series, including IMSA, Indycar, and Formula One. Before we get started, make sure you go follow us on social media. We post our episodes on Spotify and on YouTube. We also post videos on TikTok and on Instagram. We were at the IMSA race this past weekend and we posted a lot of good content. We posted a lot of good recaps and updates about the IMSA race. So make sure you go follow us there to keep up to date with everything Podium Pop. Mm-hmm. And let's go ahead and pop the bottle and let's get right on into it.
Let's do it. Much to talk about.
Well, first.
Go ahead, girl.
Ooh, that one was really weak.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm having an off week.
Yeah, it's okay.
Let's start with IMSA.
Yeah, should we do IMSA, IndyCar, Formula One?
Yep, absolutely.
Let's do it.
Okay, IMSA.
Indy Battle on the Bricks.
Battle on the Bricks. We did post a TikTok, and to be fair to Gracie, it was super loud. Like, the mic picked up audio, but it was super loud that you almost couldn't even hear yourself.
No, you could barely hear yourself talk.
And so she did at one point in one of the videos, and we posted it and didn't realize it till afterwards. She said Battle of the Bricks, which is so funny because you just picture people...
Which is also funny, but I had it right all weekend, and a couple times you were like, wait, what is it again?
I actually think you said Battle of Bricks.
I did say Battle of Bricks.
Battle of Bricks,
Battle
man.
of Bricks.
And I think that's
Lego
so
bricks.
real.
Lego
Bricks,
sure.
right. Speaking of, this is completely off topic.
Sure.
But did you see this morning they talked about how they were fixing Turn 2?
Yes.
The what is it called? Asphalt?
The gravel? No, it's not gravel. Yeah,
that's the word. Not concrete.
Pavement?
I guess pavement is the generic word for it. But anyways, they were fixing that, and they were pulling it up, and they found the original bricks from
1909 or 07, if your year was.
A very nice recall.
Thank you.
Which is really cool. Mr. Bowles was tweeting about it. Love that man.
He seemed like he was on the scene. I don't know if he really was.
He was boots on the ground. But no, that was really cool. But it is Battle on the Bricks.
Yeah, Battle on the Bricks.
And it was our first time at this particular race. We did not go last year. So, endurance racing. What did you think? How did you feel?
I love endurance racing, absolutely.
This was your first in-person IMSA race.
Yeah, my first in-person IMSA race. Literally so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I will say, nothing beats Daytona. Mm-hmm. But I will say I think I enjoyed the Battle on the Bricks more than I enjoyed the Watkins Glen race.
Yeah.
But, every IMSA race I've been to has been...
Yeah, there's always just so much happening.
Mm-hmm.
You have, stuff going on in different classes, and then you have stuff going on when, the cars in different classes collide or get into a tussle, and then it's I don't know, there's just so much is always happening.
Yeah, with multi-class racing, mm-hmm. Again, there are going to be cars that you are not fighting them, you are not in a competition with them, but they could be in a competition. You could be in a competition with somebody else on their team, or another team that has the same manufacturer as them. Mm-hmm. So there's always there's so many intertwined webs.
Yeah, for sure.
That you have to think about. Same thing where, even with different teams in the same class, there is the 31 Cadillac Wayland that was racing. And at one point, I think afterwards, I forget who they were talking to. I think they may have been talking to Fred. But one of them was I did breathe a little bit easier when behind me was the Wayne Taylor Racing Dex, because they're also a Cadillac team.
Yeah.
So while they weren't technically on the same team, they're in the same manufacturer car. So many different things can play into strategy here. But yeah, the multi-class racing is always super interesting. That was one of the hardest things though to when I made the transition into endurance racing and IMSA, and I was learning about Daytona before, or actually I learned this back in 2024, but watching it, that was the hardest thing for me to wrap my brain around, is the different classes of cars and what they mean. And there's so many GTP, GTD, GTB Pro, LMP2, LMGT3, hypercar.
Yeah, it's when you hop over to WEC or something, it's the same thing but something different.
Yeah, it's the same, almost the exact same thing. Different, they name it differently though.
Yeah.
it's tough to kind of keep track of, and I think that was the most like intimidating part going into it. But once I kind of like just realized like I'm not going to focus too hard on figuring out the differences between each car and what
comes
means.
to you.
It does.
Yeah.
It'll come naturally, and you'll just naturally learn which like category means what. And once I kind of like got over that fact, I could like let myself enjoy it.
I would say like if you're like new, I feel like this is what I did like when first watching Daytona last year. Last year?
2024.
Yeah. It's really easy because like the GTDs and GT Pros, they all look really similar and like a little confusing. It's really easy to just start with LMP2.
Yeah.
And then because they look different.
They're very distinct.
Yeah. I think start with that, and then like that's what I did, and then you start learning more.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, all in all, amazing race weekend.
It was so much fun.
The weather, it was hot. But it was, if you were in the shade, it was actually really nice weather. So you'd have to take some breaks in the shade at some points, but really it was such a good experience, and also it was the highest attended Battle on the Bricks that they've had.
That was so cool.
Which is so exciting to see. Just, IMSA growing and getting more fans and new fans and young fans and female fans is like, I don't know, like I can see more and more people asking questions about it. Absolutely. And a lot of that has to do with a good old friend of ours that showed his face this weekend.
Mr. Logan Sargent showed his face this weekend. So many people were anticipating it. So many fans were so excited. Me included.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you could definitely see like a higher presence on Twitter, I would say. And I noticed a bit after Watkins Glen when people saw that he was there and were like, well, what even is this? Like, why is he even there? Yeah, it was really, really cool to see.
Yeah, and he did really good in the car.
He did. Like, so, obviously there's going to be room for improvement.
Right.
But he did very well.
For it to be his first race in this series and in this type of car, I think he came in and showed that he is a contender to be put in, in some more endurance racing next year.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's right now he's on the 52 PR1 Mathiasen. But I don't know where he'll go next year. He tested with Meyer Shank.
Yeah, he did.
So there's always the possibility that he is on one of the IMSA Meyer Shank teams next year. They have a couple different teams that he could be put on in the LMP2 category. So that's a possibility. Or maybe he stays with PR1 Mathiasen. I don't know much of the lineup. I'm trying to like remember when we started hearing about different driver contracts for the next season. I know we found out about Pietro in like mid to late November.
So in like the next month or so.
So I would say like, yeah, because Petit is mid-October. And then I think after that we start hearing more and more about driver contracts for IMSA, probably November, December.
Because Daytona's in January.
So they have a pretty quick turnaround.
Yeah, they really do.
For that. I'm so excited for Daytona. Every time it comes up. I don't know if you all remember. I talked about it quite a bit at the beginning of this year, but I went through a really big hardship in January at Daytona where I could not find a team beanie anywhere. Hashtag first world problems, but it was actually a very real problem because I was freezing. And I ended up having to go to Target and get like just a generic one. But I was there at the race this weekend. It was hot outside. It was sunny. It was hot. I was sweating. I was squinting my eyes because it was so bright outside. And I walked up to the beanie, and it was on sale for $13. The IMSA beanie was on sale for $13.
Amazing.
And I said, this is a sign, one, that I'm going to Daytona. But two, it's a sign that I need to get my beanie now. So I did it. Best decision I've made. I just now need to remember that I have it and remember to pack it for Daytona.
Yeah, you can't forget.
Because I could totally see me, like, getting 12 hours into my trip all the way down in Florida and being like, oops, forgot my beanie, which would be unfortunate. But I'm super excited. Plus, I'll wear it throughout the winter as well. So, like, first sign of snow, that beanie will be sat on my head.
I can't wait.
I'm very, very excited.
I think we should talk about Logan's stats real quick.
Okay, go for it.
He racing for his team. I believe it was in his first stint. He got his car up to P2.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it didn't stay there. They had some penalties and stuff like that come in. But also, he got the second fastest lap in the LMP2 category.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I really am excited to see where he goes.
I know. It'll be very exciting to see.
I'm also excited to see, like, because really I didn't follow his career before he got into Formula One. So, like, there was never a time, because he used to be dominant in the series that he raced in. He used to be the guy to beat. And I'm excited to see, like, what he can do, basically not sitting in a Williams. Like, obviously, him and the Williams did not work out. There was some issue where they were not compatible. It's not that he was a bad driver, because he was a fantastic driver up to that point. Mm-hmm. He obviously did great. He did good in the testing that he did for Meyer Shank and the Indycar. Like, and he did all great this when stuff.
He did Elms in 2021. He got pole his very first time ever qualifying in Elms.
Yep.
At Red Bull Ring.
Yep. He's fantastic. So I'm excited to see, and I think I'm also excited for maybe some other Formula One fans to be reminded that Formula One is not the only motorsport series in the world.
I really think, like, and also that, like, it's not the only motorsport series, and, like, it's not end all be all.
Yeah.
Your career's not over if you don't make it. I think Logan's a good example of that. I think Nick DeVries is a good example of that. I think Mick is a good example of that. And I really hope Max now racing at Nuremberg is also going to be a good example. And, like, hopefully fans will branch out more.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can't even explain how much, obviously, like, I love Formula One and, like, the joy in watching it, but just having all these other motorsports as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it so much.
There's so much more for you to see if you just open your eyes a little bit. But I am excited that Logan coming to the series is bringing more fans. I mean, that's absolutely how I started watching IMSA, because I was a fan of Pietro, and he joined last year. Mm-hmm. He did Daytona. He did Petit Le Mans. I think he did Indy or Battle on the Bricks last year. I don't remember for sure. But being able to, you know, be introduced to a series through drivers, it's very common. So all of the Logan fans coming over, I am super excited for your all's journey. As always, if you all have any questions, let me know, because, you know, we've been following IMSA throughout this whole year. But we made a comment actually last episode about how great the commentators were for when Max was doing the Nürburgring endurance race. Mm-hmm. And how welcoming they were, and how they're like, we're here for any questions. We know you have your eye on Max. Like, we're going to do our best to keep you updated. And I don't know. I don't want to say they saw our podcast episode, but something was in the air at IMS.
Oh, my gosh.
Where the commentators were, I think, going out of their way to welcome new fans.
Yes, absolutely.
And to over-explain things, and to give people updates on Logan, and to say, hey, we know, you know, this is how he is, this is how he's doing, this is our professional opinion. Mm-hmm. And I'm, again, just always excited to see stuff like that.
Yeah, it's great. Some of their, like, you know, they would always be like, I talked about a few other people who had been racing for the first time. They're like, you know, we knew there's a lot of new fans. I'm here for this person, that person. And they would even be like, we know you have a lot of people watching for Logan Sargent. Like, that's his car right there. Like, you know, it looks like he's lining up to hop in the car next. Or when he was finishing out the race, there was like an hour and so left. And they were like, you know, this seems to be it. Like, I think Logan's going to finish this race out for the team. I love that.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Very, very, very nice.
Like, they're just, I don't know, like, being welcoming people.
It's going to grow the sport.
Absolutely.
That's what grows it. We talked a little bit about how crowded it was, but we did the fan walk.
Yeah.
The grid walk before the race start. Mm-hmm. And we ran into this issue at Daytona as well. And we ran into this issue at Watkins Glen. Mm-hmm. But holy heck, it was crowded.
It was really crowded.
At some points, like, and I'm a pretty short person.
Yeah.
If you only watch our podcast episode, you probably can't tell how short I am. Maybe you can, because I'm sitting next to Gracie right now. But I am literally like 5'2" on a good day. And being surrounded by a crowd of everyone pretty much taller than you. If there was someone shorter than me, they were on someone's shoulders. And I wasn't climbing up on Gracie's shoulders. So I was literally surrounded by people taller than me in a crowd. People loved them. I was there too. It was hot outside. There was a lot of sweat. All I was trying to do is get some eyes on some Corvettes. I did eventually get my eyes on the Corvettes, but it was crazy.
There's also a bee that would not stop following us. Like, I don't know. Please,
specifically you.
I know. If you were there, I need to know if there was a bee during the grid walk that was, like, on anybody else.
I think it was just on you, and I don't know if it was your perfume or what.
My perfume is a honey lavender, so Marley also had a coffee right in front of her, and it was on the coffee for a bit.
You walked right on into that one.
Well, I did.
You were practically inviting a bee to come hang out with you.
Okay.
You were asking for it.
That's kind of fucked up.
No, I mean honey lavender.
For sure,
honey lavender. It's like a beacon for bees.
It is. It's a great scent. Yeah, I mean, it was really crowded around some spots. Like, of course, Spike and Rexy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was always like a little game. Like, once you get past, like, the massive people, or as you're coming up on, like, a huge, massive group of people, be like, and of course, I was so short, I couldn't see what was up above.
I could barely see.
So I was like, oh, I wonder what car is up there that's causing everyone. Like, everyone was surrounding, like, Spike and Rexy and the Valkyrie. Yeah. People... They were obsessed. There were a lot of people around the Fords as well, the Mustangs. I was excited about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, Logan's car as well.
Oh, yeah. At one point, we were at just, like, a standstill. I think you had gotten ahead of us. We lost, like, Patrick and Ryan. It was just me and Marley. And Marley and I are standing there. We're like, okay. And then this one guy goes, I was thinking about it. We're all probably stopped because of the Aston Martin. And everybody around us in the crowd was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then finally Celine got past for us, and I got a text from her that says, I can see you, you're almost out.
Yeah, no, because it was one of those things that, like, you can't wait and try to go as a group with your friends. No, if you get a little crevice, a little spot to squeeze by, you just got to get through it. Go. And we finally got to, like, the end of it, or really, like, the beginning, the front of the grid. Yeah. And it cleared out quite a bit. It was a lot calmer up there. But it's also really cool because as the cars are lined up on, like, the left side of you, you also have all of the garages, like the open garages with, like, the teams. Yeah, the pit stalls, the teams there, and they're kind of just sitting there watching the chaos, which is super funny as well. But it was always a really cool experience. Like, if you get a good break in the crowd, you can go take pictures with the cars. Yeah. You got a picture with did you get 65 or 64?
I got 65.
65 Ford Mustang. You got a picture with
Logan's car.
The PR1 Mathiasen. I got one with the number 3 Corvette by Pratt Miller. Yeah. I got one with, obviously, the 73 LMP2 Pratt Miller.
The drivers come out at the very end, too. Or, like, closer to, like, it's right before the race starts, like, the national anthem and everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're there to just line up on the grid for the national anthem. But if you get lucky, you can get a picture.
Yeah. I was literally walking up to Pietro. Well, I wasn't going to walk up because I wasn't going to bother him. So close to Bryce. But we'll go walk up and say hi and just be like, good luck. And as we were walking up, the yellow shirt was like, time to go, ladies. I said, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Also, Tom Blomqvist, if you happen to be listening to this, he was recording the crowd, and I saw him recording, and I was like, no, I'm going to look directly at the camera. So I looked at his camera and smiled. I would love to see that. If you happen to be listening, can you release that?
Tom, can you share that video with us? Thank you.
I, checked his stories and some stuff he reposted, and I was like,
nothing yet?
No.
Maybe he'll post it later. Maybe an end of season photo dump.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you could also tell, like, some people that were on, like, the wall and, like, of teams and some drivers where you can, like, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
There was even a photographer standing on the wall and his eyes were, like, wide.
Yeah. And also, like, so at some point once you get to the end, you could, like, hop over the wall into the actual, like, pit road. Yeah, to get out. And to get out, except Gracie was wearing a skirt, so we had to go back through the crowd, which it did thin out quite a bit. So it wasn't horrible, but it was as chaotic as they are, and as sometimes a little overwhelming as they are, I always love doing it because it just reminds you again of, like, how many people are such huge diehard fans of this sport for good reason.
Yeah, for sure. And also, like, I kind of love situations like that.
It's funny.
Like, it's funny and it's fun, and like running to the podium at Coda last year, when Ryan and I were squeezing the little crowd before they opened the gates, I was like, this is going to be hilarious.
Yeah, this...
I was like, I'm slightly miserable and I know I'm going to have to, like, run in a few minutes, but this is going to be hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, we were stuck
in the crowd. It's like adrenaline pumping.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, I'm really... Actually, at one point I did look at Marlene and I said, so what if I pass out right now?
She didn't.
I didn't. But it was just, like, I don't really get claustrophobic.
Yeah.
But it was just the fact that, like, we are not moving and there's so many people surrounding me.
Yeah. I will say, if I was in a crowd like that and everyone was shorter than me, I think I would have been fine.
Yeah,
like, if I was a tall person, I'd be like, yep, this is all okay.
Yeah. It was great, though.
Yeah. It was so much fun. Before we get too much into the race, I think another thing I want to talk about is the fan zone.
Yeah.
We've been to, all the fan zones for the IMSA races that I've been to have all been super exciting. I think Daytona was the biggest one, obviously, that I've been to. Watkins Glen had a good one as well. But the what I liked about the IMS one is that it was really a lot of just, like, local collectors that I always see at IMS or all of the close by races. I saw the same people that were at Mid Ohio were there, and they're basically just selling, like, memorabilia out of their trailer, and
also, like, Formula One, IndyCar,
IMSA. It comes with all series. Like, there's a lot of, like, Le Mans stuff. There's a lot of Formula One merch and die casts and
such cool artwork.
Oh my gosh, the artwork is so cool.
One we walked past, and it was already sold, but I was like, wow, if it wasn't sold, I probably would contemplate buying that.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
I want to know how much it was sold for.
I thought I saw something around...
Had to be a couple hundred at least.
Was it around 2? Was it 250 or 520? Why would it be 520?
I feel like it'd be 520 probably.
Maybe. I feel like I remember seeing, like, a 5... It was big. A lot... You could tell, like, lots of details. Lots of...
Yeah.
I decided, I've been thinking about it for a while. I'm going to start a pin collection.
Mm-hmm.
And I got some of my first pins. I got Rexy, Spike, and Roxy. Very exciting.
Yeah.
I ordered a pin board to start putting them on.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Yeah. Motorsport events, great for pin collecting.
Great. I'm like...
Because, like, there's pins everywhere.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, why didn't I just get that Ford pin?
Yeah. There were a lot of pins because there was a lot of, like, there was even some Formula One, some Formula One pins, some IndyCar pins.
Yeah. That, like, there was, like, a bin of pins that were just, like, all random that one of the stalls had. That was really cool.
Yeah. But it was a super great experience. Another thing that they had open were the garages that you could walk through. That's also where they did the autograph signing.
Yeah.
They just had the tables outside of the garages, they did that in Watkins Glen as well, but it was different than how they did it in Daytona. In Daytona, they, like, lined people up at tables. But I enjoy where it's just, like, the table in front of the garage, because you can really, like, decide, okay, which ones are valuable to me to go wait in line for, versus, like, you really want to see, like, you know, Pratt Miller, but they're in line with AO Racing. Well, you're stuck in, like, a really long line.
Yeah.
So it lets you pick and choose. And it's also just less waiting in line.
It is, yeah, for sure.
Which, even though it's the same amount of time, it feels frustrating. It feels less frustrating doing it that way. So that's always super cool as well. Should we get a little bit into the race?
Mm-hmm.
First thing I want to say about the race.
Yeah.
The Cadillacs.
Whoa.
Quick.
Originally,
it was the number 60 Acura Meyer Shank that got pole for the GTP category, but it came out pretty late. Like, we were already home from dinner. We did dinner, Target, home, and then it came out that they were disqualified due to not passing technical inspection.
Bummer.
Huge bummer.
Yeah.
Huge bummer for Tom.
Yeah, and we
Tom and Colin.
Yeah, that was a huge bummer. We had media this weekend, so we were in the media room. Guys, they would not stop asking about his IndyCar career.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So whenever Tom was up there for after qualifying, so many people were like, hey, so last time you were here for IndyCar, not so great, huh? And he's like, yep, hope that changes. Hope like, that luck turns around.
We had like 3 of them. There were like 2, and then like at the very end, there was like one more question, and I was, and I mean, like, I get it, I truly do, but I was like, oh, I feel bad for the guy.
I know. I was like, oh, he's leaving and he's kind of sad. And I guess he definitely would be sad because then a couple hours later it came out that his team was disqualified from qualifying, so they started in the back, which great recovery.
Oh my gosh.
They did end up finishing P3 in their category, which coming from the back of the grid is fantastic.
Yeah.
But because they got disqualified, it caused the number 31 Cadillac Wayland to move up to pole position and for them to literally lead a 1-2-3 lockout.
Crazy.
Cadillac lockout. I love Cadillac, and it's hard not to just root for American-based teams naturally. I mean, we root for like Ford as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm super excited about that. I'm a big Cadillac fan.
Mm-hmm.
But to see them have such a dominant weekend, after especially some of the luck they had earlier in the season, at Watkins Glen, they were quite literally about to win and they ran out of fuel. And I will say near the end of the race, I was getting a little nervous because it was a similar situation where a caution happened and it caused them to stay out and they really didn't have time to go in and refuel. Luckily, they did have enough fuel to make it to the end and they did end up winning.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a little scary.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That would have been so sad.
Yeah, there was a lot of chaos in this race.
Yeah, there was a lot of chaos. A lot of repeat offenders, if I may say.
Yeah, we kept seeing United Autosport at the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
Every time we looked up, it was, they were always there.
It was like United Autosport, scene of the crime, and then it's like 30 minutes later, they're back.
They're back.
Because they have their two LMP2 cars were.
Yeah, they have a number 22 and a number 2.
Yeah, at one point it was the number 22, the number 2, another LMP2, and then one of the GT cars. The GT car was a little further back, but the 3 LMP2s were going 3 wide with the GT car right there.
There was a lot of
it was
3 wide, 4 wide racing.
It was very impressive. Kyle Kirkwood even tweeted about it.
I know, yeah. I think it impressed a lot of people, and it proved how IMSA, one, is just a great series to watch, and it's fantastic racing when you get racing like that. Because not only were they racing 4 wide, they were racing 4 wide through multiple corners. So that was exciting, but again, United Autosport.
It didn't always end clean, but for a lot of points it did.
Yes, yeah. But it was interesting because the number 22 United Autosport started. Actually, both of them started really, really well, and they did not convert that. They had a lot of issues throughout the race. So I know that they were. I actually don't know if they're still second in the standings after that race weekend.
Oh.
I'll have to look and do some research.
I thought they were.
Well, they were before. But I don't know if they still are after the finalized race results.
Okay.
It takes IMSA a long time to finalize results. And I get why they want to make sure everything's good. Unlike Formula 1, Formula 1's finalized and then if something comes out, then they fix it. But they take a little bit longer to finalize the results. Yeah, a lot of cars to go through and everything. But yeah, it was the racing again. It was just to the very end of the race. There were battles. They were all at some point, when there was about an hour left in the race in 3 different categories. We had multiple people less than a second and a half apart in all categories, but the GT. I think the GTP or the GTD was pretty secure at that point.
Yeah.
But literally in the GTD Pro, LMP2, and GTP, all of them within a second, some of them, the top 3, all within a second of each other. So to be going back and forth in that racing up to the checkered flag. I know Tower was doing up and down with them. TDS Racing was, at one point, behind United Autosport. Then they were coming up above and blah, 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 all this stuff. Amazing to watch though, and very special race.
It was great. Yeah, loved it. And I also, Marley said this as well. Great first race for a lot of people who came in as new fans to watch.
Yeah,
for all the Logan Sargent fans to come in and watch.
Even if you came in and only watched the first hour or the last hour, or you turned it on right in the middle, or at any point. Yeah. You could turn it on, watch for 20 minutes, and you would see good quality racing.
Yeah, for sure.
So for all of the drivers to come in and have such a performance, I think will hopefully, again, bring in some new fans and make people want to come back for more.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you enjoyed watching the IMSA race, and you haven't watched any before, but you enjoyed watching it, the next one is in October. It's Petite Le Mans. Mm-hmm. We'll do a video talking a little bit more about it, probably on TikTok, just kind of going through the facts and the history and the data. But it is a 10-hour-long race, so even longer. Mm-hmm. And it is at Road Atlanta. So a lot of the same people from this weekend will be participating in it. Last year, a lot of IndyCar drivers joined it because it's a longer race, so the teams tend to be bigger, which means they bring on more team members. So a lot of the IndyCar race drivers did it last year. Kyle Kirkwood, I could see him possibly doing it because he did Daytona. Scott Dixon, Alex Palou, Callum Ilott. So there's a lot of people that could be showing their face for Petite Le Mans, so I'm excited to see the entry list come out.
Me as well.
I wonder when that will come out. Probably last year, I think it came out like maybe a week and a half before. They cut it close sometimes. Another thing about IMSA, but
still trying to figure that out.
Yeah, but as soon as that entry list does come out for that race, we'll definitely keep you all updated. Mm-hmm. Anything else to add about IMSA?
I don't think so.
Let's move on to IndyCar. We don't have too much for IndyCar, but we did get some very exciting news today.
Yeah, today,
Tuesday, the 23rd. Our good, close, personal friend, Dennis Hauger, who we got to interview in Nashville, was announced that he is racing for Dale Coyne Racing.
Amazing. And Dale Coyne Racing announcing a seat before December?
Before Halloween. They did say in the press conference, we will have our driver lineup secured by Halloween. Yeah. They've got one piece of the puzzle. They need the other piece. But the fact that we got something in September,
crazy,
blows my mind. Again, for those who are newer fans of IndyCar, most of the time we find out the Dale Coyne Racing lineup maybe a week or two before the first race of the season, before testing. So the fact that we are getting one so early, I mean, I think that they were like, hey, we got Dennis, let's hold on to it. Let's get it out there, because they knew what a hot commodity it was to get Dennis Hauger on their team. So fantastic.
Yeah. And Dennis raced with Andretti in Indy next, and it was also announced that with this, Dale Coyne Racing and Andretti now have a technical alliance.
Right.
So it's also being very heavily assumed in 2027 Dennis will make the move to Andretti.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's literally the end of, or mid-end of 2025. Nobody knows what's going to happen, but a lot of that talk was brought up.
That's what the direction it looks like. I mean, with Andretti now, they obviously just signed Will Power on. They have Kyle Kirkwood, which I think he's there to stay. I think this season, it's really, a lot of eyes are going to be on Marcus Ericsson's results. His contract's up at the end of 2026. It would seem most likely Dennis would slot into his seat in the number 28. Yes, 28. So I think he's got to really come ready to impress. But we're seeing a lot of technical alliances in IndyCar. I mean, we see AJ Foyt and Penske. We see now Dale Coyne Racing and Andretti, and then of course Meyer Shank and Chip Ganassi. I wonder if Arrow McLaren's going to try to do a technical alliance with someone, or do you think they're just like, I'm good?
Arrow McLaren had a technical alliance with JHR, but they dropped it last year because of Canapino.
Oh, so I wonder if they'll bring that back.
I don't know.
I wonder why they didn't bring it back once he got dropped.
I don't know.
Is it confirmed it was because of Canapino?
I mean, it all happened around the Canapino time.
Gotcha.
I just remember them pulling out. I really don't remember exact words that were said, but yeah, they for sure pulled that out.
Interesting.
They also lost the Arrow sponsorship.
Yes, that's true.
I don't think we have ever talked about that.
No, yeah, they are no longer going to be Arrow McLaren next year.
So interesting.
I wonder if they're going to bring on a new title sponsor, or if they're just going to stay McLaren.
I don't know, which is crazy because McLaren Formula One is going from McLaren F1 team to McLaren MasterCard F1 team. Is it McLaren MasterCard or MasterCard McLaren?
I thought it was MasterCard McLaren.
You could be right.
I think it is MasterCard McLaren.
And for them to lose Arrow, like the flip-flopping of that is going to be crazy.
Yep. it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
A lot of people were theorizing and being like, I wonder if Rinus regrets not signing with Alcoin.
Yeah.
Because of now the Andretti alliance.
Yeah.
Who knows, truly.
I wonder where Renus is going to slot in. Also, I think another thing to point out is that a lot of the McLaren. It's weird not calling him Aaron McLaren, so I'm going to still do it until anything official comes and they figure out what their name is. But a lot of people were talking about how Aaron McLaren is posting a lot of social media surrounding just Christian and Pato.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan Siegel obviously had a pretty rough year. And obviously he has a contract out. I mean, he still has a contract for next year, but as we know, in IndyCar, contracts are kind of meaningless, and there's a bunch of exit clauses and things that we don't know what's going on.
I mean, Nolan is the first hand at getting a seat because contracts are meaningless.
Exactly.
And nothing against him, just like he benefited
from it. So I wonder, though, I would like for Aaron McLaren to come out with some, even seeing the fans talking and theorizing and they still haven't said anything, like that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But like if I was Aaron McLaren social media and I saw people saying that Nolan was no longer going to be with the team because I haven't posted him quite a bit, I'd be spamming a lot of Nolan Siegel content if that was me. So I do wonder if there is some question on, is he going to still race next year? I think he will. But I think they're also kind of seeing how things play out. But where does Rinus go? Does he go to RLL? Does he go to JHR?
I literally have no clue.
Yeah. I mean, right now JHR Stingray has a seat for next year, but Connor Daly doesn't have anything secure. So maybe he goes there.
Maybe.
A lot of thoughts, a lot of things to think about.
Yeah, so many things to think about.
But pretty quiet for IndyCar for the most part. Are we good for Formula One?
Yeah, let's talk about some Formula One.
So we're Formula One. We're in Jeddah. No, we're in Baku. God, it's been a long season.
Yeah, it's been a really long season.
We're in Baku.
We are.
And guys, let me get this out of the way. Last episode, I put my prediction out, and I said, well, duh, Oscar loves Baku. He's the king of Baku. Baku treats him so well, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I was wrong. Oscar had a shit weekend.
We can't always be right.
If we're always right, then, it'd be too powerful.
Okay, my Etsy witch can't work every weekend.
Right, exactly. She's got to have some... She took PTO. Gracie's Etsy witch took some PTO, and that's why Oscar had the weekend that he had.
I'm once again joking. Please don't think I'm serious.
I've never even looked into an Etsy witch for real.
No, me either.
Sure.
I looked up that one girl's after she cleared the rain for her wedding, but I couldn't find her.
Okay. But all in all, a lot of people had rough weekends.
Yeah, for sure.
Obviously, there are a lot of issues with... There was a lot of wind this weekend.
It's a small circuit.
And the walls, they close in on you.
They're unforgiving.
Very unforgiving. So all the practice sessions, there were a lot of bumps and bruises. But qualifying was crazy.
A record. Let me try that again. Record-breaking amount of red flags in qualifying.
They had 6 red flags.
Insanity.
We watched qualifying going to the track, and we were like, oh, perfect. We're supposed to get there in an hour, or we're supposed to get there in an hour and 15, and the race is starting, or the qualifying is starting, and it normally takes an hour.
Yeah.
Qualifying took 2 hours.
Qualifying took longer than the entirety of Monza 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was crazy. I'm going to do a quick run through on all of the bumps and bruises. Yeah. Alex Albon hit the wall. Nico hit the wall, loses his nose. I called him Voldemort.
You did.
Pierre goes deep, doesn't hit the wall, but as Pierre goes deep, at the exact moment Franco crashed into the wall, Ollie bumped into the wall, Charles crashed into the wall, Oscar crashed into the wall. All right.
Okay.
That's a lot. So yeah, a lot of unhappy drivers after qualifying, but a couple very happy drivers.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Carlos Sainz.
Yeah.
In Q3, the way that it shook out, rain was coming, so everyone was kind of rushing to get in a good lap. In Q3, rain was coming. The first people to put down a lap was Liam and Carlos. And Carlos qualified above Liam when it was just the two of them, had a quicker lap. And right after, they were the only two to put lap times on, and right after that is when Charles crashed.
Yeah.
And already, so that ruined, a lot of people's runs.
Momentum.
The momentum. And once that got cleared out, they came out, and then almost immediately Oscar crashes, and again ruins quite a bit of people's runs. And at that point, the track's pretty cold. The rain is coming. So as people finally get back on track to put a lap together, there was still enough time to put laps together, but it was kind of one of those things that, like, hey, you are on like a time crunch. Yeah. Like you can put in one lap and it needs to be the lap. And that coming in with some slippery roads from the rain, a cold track, caused a lot of people to not be able to put a great lap time together, other than Max, because at the end of the day,
Max went last.
It's a and at the end of the day, it's Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
But because of that, Carlos and Liam were able to hold on to their lap times.
Yeah.
And ended up qualifying in the top 3.
Yeah.
Liam was third, Carlos was second, Max was first.
Crazy.
It
was like so insane. We're pulled in IMS. I quickly had touched up my makeup, and then I was like, I can't get out of the car. If Carlos is about to get pulled and I don't watch this, no. I can't get out of the car.
For a second, we literally thought Carlos was getting pulled. And, yes, I'm so excited that he did so well, and I should be very, very grateful for what I got from him. It would have been just amazing to see Carlos get pole. Carlos, I think, needs all of the W's that he can get right now. With how his year's been going at Williams, but to have such an amazing weekend, I think the only thing that would have made it sweeter is if it was an Italian race. That's all I'm saying. But no, I was very, very excited for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Should we talk about the race?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay. Remember how I said Oscar was having a very unfortunate weekend? That very much so continues into the race. So what happened? Before the race even started,
he said, time to go.
And
it sure wasn't time to go.
He jumped the start.
Well, it happens to everybody.
As he jumped the start, he stalled the car. But because he jumped the start, Fernando, who was right behind him, also jumped the start. Oops.
Oopsie.
The difference is that Oscar stalled the car, Fernando didn't. So when the lights actually went off, Fernando just had to drive right by him.
Yeah.
Literally turned around him.
Very well reaction.
Great reaction, because it could have been nasty if he didn't. So everyone was already oh my gosh, why? Because again, at the time we didn't know that Oscar jumped the start. We didn't see that part. So we're racing, race is going.
We're going,
and we're why is Oscar in P20? We're that is so weird. All the commentators were trying to figure it out. We were trying to figure it out. We're as we're trying to figure it out, we look up. He crashed.
If you guys want to watch a funny reaction video, I posted it on our TikTok. I was already confused and squinting my eyes at why it was in P20. Hard cut. Sky Sports did. We were watching Sky Sports. We were at Marley's, and we're used to F1 TV. I'm really glad we have F1 TV.
Yeah, I will say, this was our first experience really watching Sky Sports.
I did used to watch Sky Sports when I lived at my parents because I watched on ESPN, but I'm so glad for F1 TV.
Yeah.
Anyway, Sky Sports just cussed him in the wall. Not even he was just in the wall. I gasped like I watched Ryan punch you in the face right in front of me. Our friend Ryan was there from Outside Line Media, and we were watching at Marley's. I gasped up. Marley was still asleep. I'm surprised she didn't wake up.
No, honestly.
Please go watch it. I think it's hilarious.
It was scary.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so, of course, as soon as he crashed, everyone was like, oh my gosh, the the end. This is the championship leader. Like, give him a break. Yeah. This is the first time in how many freaking races that he hasn't
2023.
Exactly, that he has DNF from.
Since his rookie
season. Give him a break.
Literally.
And I think that the marshals felt the same way because they treated him like the sweet little angel that he was. And they propped him up on a chair, gave him a little... I said they set him up with an iPad because he's an iPad kid. Gave him a little banana snack, gave him some water, and said, buddy, you're going to have to hang out here for a little bit.
You gotta sit here, I'm so sorry.
And he did.
And then afterwards, he had to walk back through the streets of Baku to get back to the paddock.
Yeah.
Those pictures are crazy.
They're crazy.
Also, his bodyguard coming to meet him.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, he needed some sort of protection. He couldn't just walk back on the streets alone, and the marshals had jobs to do. But it's just like, okay, you're getting picked up.
The pictures were very dystopian.
They were so dystopian, and like the fan, like there was one fan who got a picture. Like,
yeah,
hey,
it's like, ooh, read the room. Yeah. So that unfortunately happened. But I mean, as far as like the rest of the race, pretty standard. People and they were asking, they're like, why were there so many crashes in qualifying versus race? And I think one, people got scared about how many crashes there were in qualifying, but also there's a lot more on the line with the race. If you crash during that, you're completely out of points. So there was a little bit more caution with the race than there was with qualifying. So less crashes, less red flags. I think maybe it wasn't as windy, which helped. McLaren had a slow pit stop again.
Okay, and like let's get into it, please.
Okay.
We're sitting there. I see Lando pull in. Mind you, Oscar's out of the race. They got one car to focus on. I know Oscar's team's not focusing on him. Okay, they got one car to focus on. They pull in and I go, hey guys, watch this 5-second pit stop. What's he get? A 4-second pit stop.
Yeah.
What happens? He comes out behind Charles and Liam.
Yeah.
What happens if he would have had a 2-second pit stop? Could have came out ahead of them and been fighting for P5.
It's unfortunate.
It's really unfortunate. And then I like how like just now finally, I think it was either today or yesterday in the media, Stella was like, I think our pit stop software is probably a little bad. It's like, you think?
Yeah, what was your first guess?
Literally.
I mean, for McLaren to have such a poor weekend, like, it's fine. We understand that we can't be on the podium every week. Like, I get it, it's fine. But it is just a little, I feel a little bitter only for the fact that, like, if we would have came and had a typical weekend for us, we would have secured the Constructors' Cup, which makes this bad weekend hurt just a little bit more. But luckily, I don't feel as bad. The same thing that happened when it was a bad weekend for McLaren last time, which was Zandvoort. It was Zandvoort, right?
When it was just Lando.
Isaac?
Yeah, but it was just Lando. Oscar won that. Or Max won it. Oscar at second.
Right, but whenever Lando DNF'd in Zandvoort, Isaac got a podium. I was like, I can't be upset. Isaac got the podium.
Yeah. Same
thing this weekend. Like, yes, McLaren had a poor weekend, but I can't really be upset because Carlos got a podium. And that, like, if Carlos didn't have a podium, I'd be crashing out right now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But because he got a podium, I'm happy.
Yeah. I also just think it's, like, truly insane that, like, it's taken, like, some of the slow pit stops have started in Silverstone, and it's taken them this long to finally be like, maybe we should probably update our pit stop software. Just today, Julian Palmer came out with a video about it.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not joining in on these conspiracies about it being, like, sabotage to one or the other, one being sabotage one race weekend, one's not. It's all around because it can happen to either of them, and it's just kind of insane.
Right. Like, you all are leading the Constructors' Cup. You won the Constructors' Cup. It's like, act like it.
Yeah.
Act like a championship-winning team now.
And, like, you can take the team out of the midfield, but you can't. No, wait. How's it going? But you can't take the midfield out of the team. Yeah. Yeah, so that's a little wacko nutso.
Another thing that a lot of people are talking about is how Yuki and his team basically came out and said, hey, like, we were focusing on Lando during the race because we are basically at this point just making trying to help Max win get more points in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah. And we talked about this last week. Max needed to win Baku to stay alive, and he is staying alive very well, considering Lando got P7 and Oscar DNF'd.
Yeah.
I mean, in the next couple of races, if we're back to our usual form, but nothing, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, Singapore is next, and Max has always famously had trouble with Singapore. So I wonder if he's going to break that curse or if something else is going to change. I I truly wonder how that's going to go.
I just need Lando to have a good weekend.
I need them both to have a good weekend.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like,
I need McLaren to get their shit together.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. But another thing, going back to Carlos being on the podium. Sparkles/Sprinkles.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, did you ever officially name?
I don't think you did. But the last race weekend, they did this during their like podcast episode thing that they do. There was a fan video that came in and was like, hey, like, will you put a sticker of you, or what should I name my unicorn, Sparkles or Sprinkles? And if so, will you put a sticker on your helmet? And Carlos was like,
it was like a young fan who's a huge fan.
Yeah, it was like a little girl.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sure. If you send me a sticker, I'll put it on my helmet. Very first race he puts on a helmet, gets a podium. Everyone's like, dude, you can't take that sticker off. You have to keep that sticker on. So Sparkles/Sprinkles will be with us for the rest of the season.
Did you see what the F1 Miami did?
Mm-mm.
They put the unicorn on his box where it says like his name.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. That's cute. So I am obsessed with that little unicorn, and I'm obsessed with Carlos putting it on his helmet. And I'm obsessed with how excited his team was for him. The videos like make me emotional. Like the same thing with like Isaac and his team and how excited they are. Like these people, like coming into the season, a lot of them are like, they have the expectation. Like obviously everyone wants to win. Yeah. Everyone wants to be on the podium, but they have realistic expectations that they aren't going to, with the car that they have, they aren't going to get there.
Carlos said last year, he was like, when he won in Mexico, he's like, I don't know when I'm going to be on the podium or win again. Like, no offense, basically, but it's Williams.
Yeah.
He didn't think that he was going to get a podium this year.
Which, again, like, the Williams car was super quick, and I think if Alex didn't have that unfortunate crash during qualifying, it would have been interesting to see what he could have done as well. I know. But it also does, like, James Vowles has been talking about 2026 for years. And for us to be so close to 2026, and for us to start seeing this glimmer of, okay, like, they could be a competitive team, is super crazy to see.
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Have I made fun of James Vowles for talking about 2026 so much? Yes. Do I believe him a little bit more now? Yes.
Yes.
So.
Also on the safety car restart, have you seen these videos of Max and Carlos is on board?
Yes.
It's Max is like weaving back and forth, and he is this goes to show how well Carlos knows Max is of a race car driver. Max is weaving because it's at the point where like the safety car goes in and Max controls the restart. He's weaving his car to warm up his tires, and Max is basically waiting to see Carlos start warming up so he can try and run away and get it. Carlos does like the littlest of warm up, and then Max runs away, but you can see it in his movements that Carlos knew what was happening.
Yeah.
And, like, obviously it's a Williams against a Red Bull. I don't think Carlos is going to beat him on that restart. But, it, like, I don't know. It was really cool to see just, like, how well he knows of a driver he is.
Carlos is a super, super, super smart race car driver.
Such a smart race
He's
car driver.
known for strategizing while he's sitting there in the car. He's known for, famously whenever he was giving... pulling back in Singapore to give Lando DRS to basically keep the Mercedes behind them to help them with the constructors, all this stuff. He's a genius. He knows what he's doing, and we talk about this a lot, but I truly think that if anybody on the grid could one day be a team principal, it would be Carlos Sainz.
Absolutely.
And I
will be a fan of whatever team that is.
Yep.
Also, it was very, very sweet that Alex got out of the car and right to the celebrations and was there.
Yeah.
Alex's time is coming.
Seriously. It's coming. It's proven that it can happen, and I think almost that, like, I don't want to say that Alex, like, sometimes maybe psychs himself out a little bit or it gets in his head, because I think he actually does a really good job of, like, handling the pressure of that. But I think him seeing Carlos on the podium this weekend might, like, almost say, like, hey, like, it's possible, and I'm going to do it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That kind of thing. So
Vegas. I said, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? I said Alex podium in Baku or Vegas. Carlos got the Baku podium.
Alex
is coming for Vegas.
Yep. I would love to see that.
For sure.
Some post-race stuff. There were some storms going on in France.
There were some storms going on in
France, which
France.
did cause some travel home
delays
to have some delays, which basically caused
the funniest thing ever to happen.
Funniest thing ever. Carlos and Charles ended up having to stop in Italy. Their plane stopped in Italy because they could not make it.
They've been traveling a lot together this year.
They have. Carlos talked about how they both use like the same like jet provider.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they race. They travel together to and from the races. So they were on the same plane. They stopped in Italy. They rented a car and they just road tripped it. And Charles,
they rented a van.
They rented a van, and Charles documented the whole thing, and it was
so funny.
Like the fact that Charles was so obsessed with this too, like that would be such a funny. Like he's like, let's make the best of this. Yeah. This is funny.
Yes.
And then Charles is so us good because like something like that would happen to us. Like it'd be like a really like unfortunate like thing. It's going to be real inconvenience, but we'd like look at each other and be like, well, this is going to be
for great content,
funny story one day.
Yeah. And
you know what? Charles had that mindset. Charles was like, no, this is
so
great. I'm giggling. And he's been posting up a storm about it.
Yeah. Well, I also said I think he's been posting a bit more on TikTok, like a little bit before this happened, and then he's been posting this literally everywhere, including YouTube Shorts. So I think Ferrari was like, hey, you know what? We're not having the best season, Charles. Here's your socials back.
Yep.
It was just so funny.
Yeah.
I loved it. And then I loved when Charles was recording Carlos, and then he pans to the back, and Joris, and I think it's pronounced Anthony. I don't know. His photographer and someone else on the team are just in the back.
They're just chilling.
And they also, next day, Monday, made Joris take the car back to where they got it in France. And then everybody was like, couldn't they just pay extra to leave it somewhere else?
Yeah.
Oh,
they're
so
millionaires.
Funny.
They can do it.
No, yeah.
I just love Charles and Carlos, and I almost love them more now that they're not teammates because there's not that like tension there.
Yeah.
So they can just be their true, authentically goofy self. Mm-hmm. And I love that for them.
Yeah. Do we have anything else?
No, I think we can just talk about it next week.
Before we talk about next week, let's give our champagne pops and problems for IMSA, and then our champagne pops and problems for Formula One.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do IMSA. So, who is your champagne pop?
I am going to give my champagne pop to the 60 Acura Meyershank for their comeback.
Yep. I'll give mine to Cadillac in general.
Yeah.
Specifically the 31 Cadillac Wayland, but Cadillac in general had a fantastic weekend.
Yeah. Champagne problem?
I'm going to give mine to Pratt Miller. 73 Pratt Miller, specifically. They could not catch a break this weekend.
No, they really couldn't.
They got beached during qualifying. They made contact during the first stint of the race, and pretty much after that point was just trying to keep up at all.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give, unfortunately, the Pratt Miller 73 LMP2.
I think I'm just going to give mine to the United Autosports for kind of always being at the scene of the crime, it seemed like.
They were being a little naughty this weekend.
A little bit.
Hugely loved it, though.
Oh, absolutely.
Loved that so much. Okay, Formula One, champagne pop.
It's got to go to Carlos.
I'm giving it to Carlos as well. Absolutely. No question about it. Mm-mm. I think we'll probably have the same champagne problem as well. Oscar.
I was just going to say McLaren in general.
McLaren. I'm going to say Oscar because Oscar definitely had a worse weekend.
Yeah, it was just an off weekend.
It was one thing after another for him. So I think we're pretty unanimous about that stuff. Okay, perfect. Next week, we have MotoGP. Gracie is watching it.
Yeah, I'm going to try and watch. It's at like some late times for us.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's considered early. I think it's just late.
What time?
I checked. Well, hold on, let me pull up really quick. I took a screen.
I'll make a schedule as well this week, and I'll put MotoGP on it. Because we don't have any IMSA, we don't have any Formula One, we don't have any IndyCar, we don't have any European Le Mans series. So we're having MotoGP, and we also go ahead.
It's in Japan, so like for us, like qualifying is at like 11, races at 1 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Late nights.
I'm gonna try, like, if I'm up, you know what I mean, or something. Or like maybe watch recaps. I don't know. I talk about this. I think I want to try MotoGP.
I love that for you. I also would love to watch MotoGP. I'm going to try to watch it as well. We'll see, but I think Gracie is spearheading the MotoGP movement on this channel.
Okay.
Big fan of that. Also this weekend we have the Nürburgring Endurance Series. Most notable is Max Verstappen possibly participating in it with the Emil Frey racing team.
Yeah, we haven't heard much anything else, I don't believe.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they don't give him the license.
Yeah.
But I also personally haven't seen any confirmation that he's gotten it. It could have came out and just gotten, lost in the. We were at the race this past weekend.
Yeah,
but hopefully he's able to participate in that, because I would love to watch that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see, but we will have an episode for you next week, talking through that, as well as if any other motorsport news comes out. But yeah, great stuff.
Great weekend.
Yeah, good motorsport.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for listening, and make sure you go give us a follow on YouTube, on Spotify, on TikTok, and on Instagram.